Right, welcome everybody to chapter 3 of An Awakened Age Chronicle, a Mage the Ascension Chronicle. Let's start with a recap of last session. So last session we called it the disaster on the dance floor. The characters were invited to a verbena initiation party in an after-hour downtown Montreal. Shit hit the fan in the middle of the night, where when the initiation took place, a sleeper uh, didn't was not affected by the magical effect that was supposed to froze her for her not to be witness of the for her not to witness the initiation. But the thing was that she kind of awakened by brute force, and she was kind of traumatized by it. And then so what happened is that Rashid El Khalti and Clarisse Montplaisir, which were the adept of the Order of Hermes and the Verbena tradition that were there to do the initiation and to apply protocol, they had to get rid of her. And because that's protocol, no sleeper should witness magic for their own protection. And then the PC, Eric and Steven and Jessica and Valis were kind of like frustrated by the situation, not really enjoying what they were seeing. So there was some confrontation going on that left the party divided somehow. And what happened is that Steven and Jessica left the initiation. They left the party right after Aline. Right after Aline created a vortex to allow the girl to go into the other in the Umbra, and then Valis, went with her, trying to go back and trying to find his girlfriend, in that he knows she's in the Umbra. So he just grabbed the girl and then disappeared in the other world. And so what happened after that is that Eric manifested his frustration toward Rashid and Clarisse Montplaisir, and basically what the tradition are doing, and just left the party as well. So this is where we were, right outside the after hour. The character encounter a detective from the RCMP called Isaac Charles, and this is where we are right now. So outside, it's really cold. The streets are empty. Eric, as you leave the after hour, you come into the lobby and you realize nobody is there. No bouncer, no sleepers, no girl behind the counter where the jackets are. So you have to go get your jacket yourself. And then and everything is empty. There's no sound. There's nothing. It's like the place is just desert. And then when you open the front door, arriving outside, you're struck by the coldness of the air, and it is so cold, and that the water that has been retained in the streets has made ice patches. The streets is covered with some small ice patches here and there, and there's like this cloud of white smoke coming out of your mouth as you breathe. And the streets are empty as well. The city is silent. And then there is in front of you, you see Jessica holding arms with Steven, and in front of them, parked on the side of the road, the side of the street, next to the sidewalk, there's this big, old, squarish Buick that is beige, with and with the windows darkened by shades. And there is, like, on the top of the car has been parked there for a long time, because the top of the hood and the top of the car has this kind of white frozen humidity on it, and the windows as well. And standing up, lean back on the car, there is uh, a tall black man that looks like this. He's wearing a long beige detective like trench coat. He has nice little glasses. He has a kind expression on his face. His hair are whitened by age. His face has ripples in it where he smiles, and on his forehead where when he's showing that he's been thinking a lot. And he has his hand in his pocket, and there is a white fume coming out of his mouth and nose as he speaks and as he breathes. And Eric, as you come next to Jessica and Stephen, you hear him introducing himself, saying, "I'm Detective Isaac Charles," and he shows his badge from the RCMP, and he put it back into his inside his jacket, and he says, "This is my colleague, Detective Cooper." And all you can see from Detective Cooper is just a silhouette sitting in the car on the passenger seat, not looking at you, just looking in front of him in the emptiness of the street. The sky is almost clear. It's not as dark as it is at midnight. It is greenish, yellowish, purplish as it is at 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning when the sun is about to come up. And it seems like you guys have been in the party for so long. Like time has passed really fast. When the door closed behind you, Eric, as you walk toward your friend, you hear the beat that just starts again, just boom, 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 just like that. Just when the door closes, the beat just starts, just like right where it left it, right where it started, right where it left it, and out of nowhere like that, and you hear people talking and chatting right behind you on the other side of the door. In front of you, Detective Detective Charles leaned back on the car, hand in his pocket, and says, "Stephen Molill." Eric Mech, and he takes a little pad out of his pocket. He's like, "Eric, I know your name. Wait a minute, Eric McCalvin. That's right. Is it so? Is it so?"
I was always told not to talk to strangers.
Oh, I thought I introduced myself. I am Detective Isaac Charles. And you, young lady, I'm pretty sure you're Jessica St. Clair. Is that so? And she nod, a little bit surprised. How was the party, fellas?
Never mind the party. Why have you come looking for us? How do you know our names?
Oh, well, listen. I was my colleague and I have been investigating the disappearation of a few individuals in the course of the last year or two, and we might have some question to ask you concerning an individual you came to know about recently called Rachid El Khalti, and another individual called Clarisse Montplaisir. And just knowing that you've been their acquaintances probably tonight, I'd like to ask you a couple of questions of what your inquiry is with these people.
My inquiry? They said, "Here's a party." I went.
Okay, I see, I understand. So you guys are McGill University student, you're taking Professor Gallagher's class in the mathematics. So you like science and math, fellas?
What's this about?
Listen, like I said, we are on an investigation concerning Rachid El Khalti and Clarisse Montplaisir, related to this disappearation, the missing of many individuals in the course of the last 2 years.
Well,
And
I met Rashid in class, and he said, "Hey, we're having a party down here. We came down here. I just met this other person. I don't even remember her name. Just today."
Us two, we've only known Rashid for a week.
I think I knew about that. I just wanted to know if you've seen anything strange tonight, because it seems to us that this place is related to the missing of these individuals, the disappearation. You know, so I wanted to know. I wanted to know if you've seen anything strange. Maybe some behaviors, maybe some situation that is out of the ordinary.
Stephen,
Some violence, maybe. Have you seen people the use of drugs? Are you intoxicated right now?
I'm
Steve-
walking. I'm not driving.
Oh, well, that's not of my concern, but I was just wondering if you guys have seen maybe drug use or drug abuse in these places. Because it is well known that drug is flowing around in these venues.
It's not like It's not like people are sitting there doing lines on the bar. I mean, if they are, they're doing it in the bathroom or someplace. I never saw them. It's not like I was particularly watching for them either.
I understand.
we haven't seen anything strange. And Stephen looks looks Jessica and I and says, "No, no, your questions are the strangest thing that have happened tonight."
Okay, so I'd like you to do manipulation plus subterfuge. Manipulation plus subterfuge. Difficulty 8.
Okie dokie.
Well, let's see. I have manipulation of. Ooh, I got 2 9s.
All right, so he's looking at you guys. He said, "Oh," and he's little. He looks a little nervous, and he's looking in his notepad, and he's oh. Are you okay? So he seems like so not so you said that nothing really particular happened tonight, right?
No. Stephen bends forward and looks through the window of the car to Detective Cooper, trying to get a better look.
The shade of the windows is really dark, but you see a man like this.
Sorry,
Really old, really ugly. He doesn't look back at you. He's just staring, in the emptiness of the street. The Detective Isaac Charles says, "Right, listen, Phyllis. I don't wanna. It's really late, and I understand that you guys are probably tired, and I don't wanna be, an annoyance to you." And he takes 3 cards in his trench coat, gives one card to each and every one of you. He says, "Listen, if you see anything strange, if you," and then he kind of leaned forward, and the look on his face changed completely. He becomes really serious. He says, "If you see anything strange, or if you feel threatened or scared by anything in particular, feel free to call me back. If you have any information that comes up later on somehow, feel free to call me back."
Well, what kind of strange things are you talking about?
Like I said, I cannot give you all the information, but like I said, we are
Just a little bit
investigating.
would be nice.
That's what I'm saying. We investigating the disappearance of many McGill students and individuals. It seems related to this place and related to your friend Rashid El Khalti and to Clarisse Monplaisir as well, and to some other individual in the McGill campus university. It's been going on for like 2 years. So if you have any information concerning that, if you feel threatened, if you feel like you are in danger or some whatever, just feel free to ask. Call me back, and we'll try to see what we can do about that, fellas. Be careful. And then as he stands up and he's walking around the hood of the car to get back into the. He opens the door, and before he gets to sit in the car, he says, "And just stay away from Rashid Al Khalti. Just a word of advice." And then he gets in the car and starts their big engine, and they, making their tires screaming a little bit.
As he drives away, I just stand like I'm at attention, mock attention, and just like salute him in a mocking gesture.
The car just drive off in the street with leaving you cold on the sidewalk. Behind you, you hear the music really loud coming out of the after hour.
Do you have a problem with the cops, Eric?
Oh, I just get a little tired of fascists every now and then.
It seems reasonable enough to me.
I don't know, guys. I think that honestly, I kind of scared right now. We've seen strange things tonight, and then these guys are there waiting for us. They know our names, and they seem to know stuff that we don't about what's going on with Rashid Al Khalti and all these.
That's the way the Gestapo works.
Remember what I told the fact that people are against the mages. The reason why they stick together
You're breaking up quite a bit.
Yeah, we never heard any of that.
The reason is, she says, the reason why he says that the people, the mages get into cabal together and they form traditions and they stick together as a group is because they are threatened by the sleepers, and these individuals right there are asking questions, and they seem to be quite inquisitive. So I don't know.
I don't know. I think the sleepers should be more afraid of them after what we just saw.
Numbers can mean a lot.
Oh, I don't know, guys. I'm not sure. I'm not sure about all this. And she's still holding Steven's arm. She's kind of because it's really cold outside and she's kind of scared. So what are your plans, fellas, about all this? What do you guys want to do? Do you want to go grab a coffee or something? Get warmed up and talk about all this, or what?
What are we going to talk about? We just saw some crazy dude that we were in class with jumping onto some girl that went schizo, and they disappeared into some who knows where. I don't know what are we going to talk about. I don't know how to even begin to approach this, honestly.
We left Eileen in there.
Wherever she got sent, I don't know. Disappeared. I don't know, it could have disintegrated as far as I know.
It seems like Eileen has something to do with it.
I don't think you have to worry about the cops. It's their job to ask questions.
I was looking at Eileen and I saw him. I saw his face. He did something. It's his magic. I saw him.
So he saved her. Eileen saved the girl.
Well,
is that what you're saying?
Saying he saved reason when I was little. That was.
You're breaking up. I can't hear what you're saying.
When I was listening, they seem to say that death was more of a saving than sending her wherever he sent her. So to me, it seems to me like it's not that easy of a black and white situation.
That may be right, but it's
And
hard
also,
in the right place.
And also, it seems to me that we can't go back. That whole awakening thing. I mean, we are mages, right? That's what we do. So if we want to, we could do. We can't go back to be a sleeper or to be just a normal human being. Meaning that people, there is. I'm sorry, guys. I'm just scared. I was hearing about what Professor Gallagher said, that the Nefandi and the evil mages and the technocrats and all, and even the sleepers that are looking for us out there. I mean, it seems like everybody's against us except other mages.
According to him, what if he's just inventing it all? What if he's just inventing it all to try to control us?
What if indeed? He strikes me as a lunatic. Let's all go for that cup of coffee.
Yeah,
Let's
sounds
wait
good.
around and see if Eileen comes out of the building and then go for a cup of coffee.
Yeah, that's a good idea. Let's just hang around here for a little bit, then we can take off if we need to.
All right, so you guys are walking a little bit downtown. The situation downtown is, the city is slowly waking up, but it's a Sunday morning, so, no rush hour whatsoever. So you see the night buses in the distance, hearing their brakes going, and just, empty buses driving in the downtown area. And it's not so long that you can reach a small 24-hour McDonald's. In downtown area with McCoffee thing. So you guys, we enter an empty McCoffee. The only person in there is this pimpled face nerd, 15-year-old student at the counter working a night, asking what you want. And right next to the window in the front, there is a homeless person that you can barely see the shape of his silhouette under the piles of dirty, piss, ammoniac-smelling clothes.
Well, Stephen offers a pot of coffee and 3 mugs. Because, of course, he has to pay for it to show everybody how affluent he is.
Well, I'd go ahead and find a seat and sit down.
Jessica follows along, grab a cup of coffee.
So, guys, I want to try something. Alright? I need you to trust me a little. And Stephen sits across the table from the two of them and puts out both his hands as if to take the hand of each of the other two. Come on, take my hand.
Jessica grabs your hand.
After a moment of hesitation, I grab his hand as well.
Thank you. And Stephen closes his eyes and begins to breathe deeply from the diaphragm. Focusing first on his breathing and then on his thoughts until they run themselves out and he finds a stillness of mind wherein he can access the primal energy of the universe. And he's going to try and channel it through his hands, gently into the hands of his two companions to see if they can feel it. So I'm thinking that's probably a prime effect.
So what is your intention? What do you want to do?
I am experimenting to see if I can concentrate the force in my hands and my body, and to see if they can pick up on it by touching me.
But what is the effect of that? What's the purpose? Because otherwise I can't, you know.
Well, the purpose is as simple as to concentrate the energy in my hands. And if they pick up on it, that's great. And if they don't, it's a failed experiment. Stephen himself has no great understanding of these arts.
All right, so that's a prime effect, and it's so it's prime. That's prime 3 minimum.
Oh dear. Well, we can call that a failed experiment then. So after a while, Stephen.
So what you do is you do prime, and you do +3. So highest sphere +3.
All right. So.
And a difficulty 6.
Yeah, that's a fail.
No problem. So give me a sec. Okay, so what you're gonna get is you're gonna get some paradox. So you're gonna get yourself 2 paradox.
Okay.
And what's happening is that we're gonna receive the other character. So what's happening right now is that everybody, as you guys grab Stephen's hand, there is a charge of energy that is so strong coming out of his hands that you feel an electric shock in your body that projects you strongly to the ceiling. Eric, you lift up your chair and you bang on the ceiling of the restaurant, falling back on the table and breaking up the chairs at the same time for 2 bashing. And Jessica is flipped over on her chair back onto the wall behind her, boom, smashing her head on the wall for 2 bashing. The dude in the so the sensation was just an electrical sensation in the body, and it's just like a brute force that you can't control. Just you lost control of your of the laws of physics. So like the gravity and the force and the propulsion of the thing is just drove you away. And also there is some tiredness in your mind as well, like that was gruesome of a situation at the same time in terms of mental energy. The dude behind the counter was was mopping the floor, and as he saw that, all you hear is ting 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 as he just dropped the stick of the mop with his jaw like, and he's like,
oh shit!
The homeless person in front of the window didn't move.
Right. Oh guys, I'm so sorry. Oh, that went so wrong. And I'd say to the guy who was previously holding the mop, fucking clown buzzers. Never buy them. Are you guys okay?
Jessica
Pick them up.
is hurt. She's holding her head like she's like, what have you done?
Oh,
What was
Jessica.
that? What was that? Don't touch me! Don't touch me!
I'm so sorry.
I'm still sitting there. I'm phased. I just landed back down on the table. I'm just rubbing my head and says, "What the fuck was that?"
Jessica, there's coffee on the floor. She has coffee on her suit. She's like, we should get out of here. We should get out of here.
Let's get out of here.
Let's get out of here, guys.
Then I say, kind of grabbing myself and bringing myself back to reality. Yeah, you and your damn clown buzzers.
All right, so I'm gonna go to Aline for a sec. So Aline, you wake up in the room where you slept for the night in the Order of Hermes Chantry in Castle McFarland.
Fuck me. That was a good night's sleep. Where am I? It's taking a few seconds until he realizes. Okay, so I'm not in Romania. Not in. Oh yeah, right. I need to get myself some breakfast. Wonder what's on.
As you step out of the room, you smell eggs and bacons and pastries and all kinds of good breakfast smell in the air.
Mm.
And it's noon.
He's going towards the eggs and bacon.
Entering the kitchen area, you see the nice light of the sun coming down through the big windows that is on the left side of the room. The sun is shining and reflect on all the stainless steel apparels that is in the kitchen, and the counters and the floor made of ceramic. And behind you see Rashid cooking stuff on the warm plates that is on the counter, where we just under the big oven thing. And he's cooking stuff, and he's looking at you with a nice expression on his face, going like, "Hey, Aline, why don't you sit? I talked to Professor Gallagher. He's gonna meet us in a couple minutes. Make yourself at home. Want some coffee? Grab some."
Yeah, thanks. He gets some coffee and some orange juice, and he's looking at the eggs and bacon. Can I have some?
Yeah, no problem. So I'll meet you in a couple seconds with the eggs. So a couple minutes later, you guys sit together in the long table with the Order of Hermes symbol engraved in the wood in the middle. Sitting at the table, he put some eggs and bacon in front of you. It smells super good. There is a couple of fruits in the plate as well. And there's some bread at the middle of the table, some newspaper there. There's an iPad, on the table as well. And he sits in front of you and says, "Oh, Professor Gallagher is going to be here in any minute. He shall be able to answer some of your question you had concerning the book yesterday."
Okay, thanks. And he starts eating, enjoying his meal. Well, he had such a great sleep, and he's like so happy because it's like, oh yeah, the things that happened yesterday feel like a million miles away. You know, he's so content.
I know the beds here, they're magical. They make you feel like $1,000 every time you wake up in the morning. I used to be addicted. I was sleeping here all the time, but now I have my own place.
Uh, oh yeah. I, and then kind of like reality catches up to him. And I need to get back to my own place as a party, uh, as a party, and I have someone waiting at home for me. You know, my host here, friend of my father's. I, I'm sure he'll understand because, duh, he's been young once before, but I'll have to text him.
Well,
Just,
it's quite understandable, like when people care about you, they uh, they want to have some news from time to time. Is that so?
yeah, because, well, it's just so that, hey, I'm not dead. I'm just at the friend's house. That's why I'm going to send the text to him so that he's not worrying about me or sending police to investigate my disappearance or something.
At this moment, Professor Gallagher. So at this moment, Professor Gallagher enters the room. He's wearing a satin robe with a satin pyjama under it, and he's smiling. He has a nice expression on his face. The sun coming from the windows is shining and making all kinds of ripples on his robe. And as he entered the dining room, he's smiling and look at you, Aline, and say, "Aline, my old friend, oh, how are you? I see
Uh,
you've been enjoying the Chantry here, isn't it?"
yeah, sorry about that book. I kind of destroyed it without meaning to. I didn't know that it was such a volatile piece of equipment.
He stands behind you. He was passing behind you at the same time you said that. He put his hand on your shoulder. You feel a warm sensation that gets into your neck and gets into your head and gets into your mind and gets into your consciousness at the same time. And he says, "Oh, never mind, son. Never mind the book. Actually, we need to talk about that because Rashid told me that you had some peculiar encounter." So and he leaves you alone, and he goes at the end of the table, the long table. He sits, and he sits on the table, and he crosses his finger in front of him, and he looks at you, and he's like, "So I'm listening. So Rashid told me that you had all kind of questions about all kinds of stuff. It's really important you understand. This is a sacred place. This is a sanctuary, and for the mages, a chantry like that is gold. So make you always feel safe here. It's your home. Always feel at home. Go ahead.
I,
I'm listening, son."
I just I was just researching to, you know, develop my understanding of the world and magic and whatever have you, and I was well on my way to getting some good research done, but then I met that one book that literally was a hand that got me into the book, and it was so weird because there was a voice there in the middle of a hurricane that kept on saying, uh, I see you, Aline. I see you. Kind of like menacingly, and then when it spat me out, the book disintegrated. So I'm like, uh, I hope it wasn't that important.
Oh, I see, Aline, I see. Um, well, you talk about a hand coming out of a book. What kind of hand? Can you tell me the color, the shape, the texture of that hand?
Well, it seemed to get a bigger and bigger, uh, so big that it just got me in the same second. That I didn't even have that much time to dodge, to get out of its way, because it was just that fast, you know.
I see. And then you said that you got pulled into the book. Is that so? Like just like
Yeah,
through a window.
yeah. It was kind of like
Hmm.
in the book. And it was kind of like in the eye of the hurricane, and stuff kept on going round and round, and there was this voice, you know.
Oh, I see. Listen, okay, here what it looks like. To me, it seems like this is well, something happened. Like first you need to understand that there is something called the Avatar storm. And it's a quintessential storm that's been going on in the gauntlet or around the gauntlet. Do you know about the gauntlet? Did Rashid told you about the gauntlet yet? Like, is it
Uh,
something that you start to be familiar with?
I know that he said that there's an umbra with many layers within it.
There you
And
go. So the gauntlet is the kind of like the crust that surrounds our reality and that separates us from the Umbra. So you need to go through that gauntlet thing to go into the Umbra. But the thing is that the technocracy, a long time ago, well, it's not even true. It's not even like just the technocracy. It's the Nefendi. I think I talked to you about the Nefendi, when we met last week. I talked about, I said that there is some evil forces out there. Well,
hmm
they are everywhere. They are among us. They are among the sleeper. They are among the technocracy. They are everywhere. They are infiltrated. They're just like rust. They get somewhere and then you see his face changing. His eyes are becoming dark. He has a rictus on his face when he says that. It's like they get in under your skin and then they start to pollute all the cellular in your own body, and then and then he's kind of like becoming bigger as he says that, and you hunch over the table, and then you blink in the blink of an eye. He's just becoming back himself at the end of the table, saying that, you see, the Nefendi, they are everywhere, and they infiltrated the technocracy as well, and they started to use technology to try to manipulate the different reality, and they created a storm. They created, you see that hurricane you saw? That's technocratic disturbance. They created some kind of electromagnetic disturbance in the realm, and it makes for Umbra traveling way harder. But it created all kind of distortion, and this situation led to a more important event that we call the Battle of Doisetep. Now, that's another thing. That's more of an historical thing, but Doisetep used to be a castle where the Council of the Nine reunited, and all the archmages, all the most powerful mages in the tradition, the leaders of all the tradition, meet together and to make decisions and trying to fight the Ascension War, right? But the technocracy created that storm to make it difficult for us to go there and to make it difficult for mages to travel in the other realities because they want to take over the other side. Now, what happens is that every time a mage go through the gauntlet, they see us. They see us and they want to scare us and they want to make us so. I cannot tell you exactly what was that voice or what was that hand that grabs you, but I'm telling you, this is Nefendus. This is Nefendus at work. And just be careful, Aline. Just be careful what you're doing. Because if they get you, they will destroy you. Do you understand?
Yes, Professor, I understand. I
Perfect,
wasn't
son.
trying to.
That's perfect. Now enjoy your
wasn't
meal.
even Okay, I wasn't even trying to actually step into this Umbra place. I was just wanting to enrich my knowledge.
Yeah, well, I understand this, but remember, this is a really magical place. This is a really magical place. So maybe you just bump onto the wrong book. Maybe it was a trap, because sometimes they put some traps in our own places. So maybe you just happened to open the book and just fell into one of these traps. Like I said, they might know you, even if you don't know them. They might be watching you right now as we speak. You got to be really careful, even in these places.
Is there a way to interrupt their surveillance? I don't know.
No, I don't know. It's hard to say. They always come up with new tricks. They make research. They have money. They have resources. They come up with all kinds of stuff now. Their technology is almost as powerful as our magic. We cannot rely on pure principles anymore. Times have changed. Now every time you see the thing I was talking to you with Doisetep, because we lost a lot of resources ourselves, the traditions, because Doisetep is destroyed now. And what happened is that when they create that Avatar Storm, there was this battle at Doisetep, and then when Doisetep, when we lost it, when we lost the battle, Doisetep just exploded in fragments in different kinds of layer of the Umbra. So right now, every time you go on the other side, you end up in the ruins of Doisetep. That's the thing. That's why people always see ruins of a castle in ruins and this old house in ruins, and it's because it takes the whole room. And now with the storm that makes disturbance, it's really hard to go somewhere else. You always end up there, and they are waiting for us there. It's like a trap. You see, this is why this is all kinds of situation. There is a lot to be said about the war going on right now, but hey, just take your time, son. Take your time.
Okay. He gets a bit worried now and continues eating his food, because it's like, oh shit, where the fuck did I send them to?
Rashid, on the other side of the table, he looks at you and he said, "So you said, Aline, that you sent them somewhere else. Well, if they came on the other side alive, which depend if they fell into the storm or not, well, they're probably lost somewhere in the ruins of Doisetep. If I understand Professor Gallagher's analysis, that's what I understand. And now they're gonna have to deal with all kinds of situation out there. It's like a no man's land, right? It's like a battlefield.
I don't even know where I sent them, to be honest, because it's just pooped and pooped and pooped. It's like I wasn't thinking clear. I'm not sure where in the vast Umbra I did send them, or if they were intercepted and got into Daisetep in the first place or last place or whatever. Just felt so weird. Everything on that dance floor kind of felt weird. I don't know. So much that I don't understand here.
Professor Gallagher looks at you kindly. He stands up, ties up his robe a little bit, puts his hand on your shoulder. You feel the warm electricity going right through your soul. He says, "Take your time, son. Take your time. You have all the time in the world. And always come back here whenever needed. I'm always here. I live here. So just come to my office on the third floor, and if I'm not there, you can always knock at my room. Just give me a call, and I'll see you around. Have a nice day. Have some sleep, and be in class this week. I want to see your face because it's important this week. We have a lot to be covered. All right, fellas, I see you around." And he leaves the dining room. At the same time, Rashid grabs the plates and the cup and the stuff, and he looks at you, going, "All right, all right, Aline. I have stuff to do. I have my number. I take care, and then I goes there on my, or need anything, and you hear water stuff, and he's making noises in the kitchen.
Okay, and with that, Alim just after he finished everything, he says goodbye to Rashid and goes out the door and walks on back home.
Right, go back to the other. So it's the sun is rising with this warm ray. Cars are coming up as they show up in the street a little bit, and there you guys are moving together.
Never heard a word of that. I'm afraid you broke up quite bad.
All right, so you guys are just outside McDonald's. It's the downtown area, and it's the sun. The sun starts to rise at the horizon. There's a ray of light, warm ray of light that starts to fill up the streets of the downtown areas. There's a little bit more car than early on when you guys left the after hour, and there's even some people walking in the street looking like zombies, like so some people going to work or some people leaving after hours or parties or clubs.
Jessica, Eric, I can't apologise enough for what happened in the diner. I shouldn't have done that.
I don't understand. What were you trying to accomplish? Like, what were you trying to do?
I was trying to show you something. I was trying to let you feel what I can see, to somehow physically communicate it to you. But it was proud of me to involve you, to involve you bodily with such an experiment. I'm sorry I was It was egotistical of me, and I hurt you both.
Well, the thing I understand is that I mean I felt some kind of like have you ever been shocked by electricity before? Maybe changing a light bulb, putting your finger in it. I felt like that, and it pushed me. I was just pushed toward the wall, and then I knocked my head to the wall. That I and now I feel tired.
I'm sorry. I wanted you two to be able to feel the the source of things. You see, when my mind is still, I can see the hidden world, the universal connection that unites us all, that powers the universe, or at least that's how I interpret it. And I just wanted so badly to share that with you, and I was proud enough to think that I could involve you that way when really I'm just a novice.
Well, perhaps the next time we can go someplace secluded, because I think you might have killed that bum over there. He hasn't moved an inch. I say that just laughing with a joke.
Maybe I wasn't so surprised, but I'm probably being paranoid. So, perhaps we should go home and get some sleep.
It sounds like a good idea. The sun's up. It's time for us vampires to go to bed.
Yeah, I'm tired too, but guys, we cannot just avoid it, right? Like we have a math class in 2 days. We're gonna see Rashid again. We're gonna see Professor Gallagher again. And I mean, guys, the RCMPs just told us that Rashid is on investigation with that Clarice girl because there is some missing person case going on.
Mm.
And he knew about us, he knew about Professor Gallagher. And then do you guys really think that we can just go back there and just do like nothing happened? I mean, I want to know where you guys stand at least about that, because I mean, honestly, I I followed along to tonight. I followed Steven outside, but I mean, I don't know where I stand. I just don't know where I stand, and I want to know where you guys stand before making any decision or harsh move. I don't want to go back to class this week and tell Professor Gallagher or tell Rashid that I don't want to be part of their proposal. Because
Mm.
look what's gonna happen, right? If we go with them, they say they give us some protection. They say they will show us how to use that magic, which you seem to need quite some help, Steven. No bad, my bad, right? No offense. And then on the other side, you have the RCMPs who are looking at us, and then all the evil in the world that Professor Gallagher talked about, that we have no even idea. If Rashid is the good guy, what does the evil do? I mean, you know what I'm saying? And she's laughing nervously,
Well, the thing is, no one
almost
ever sees
crying, like
themselves
she
as
has
evil.
like tears. She has like tears of the cold air, coming out of her eyes as she says that. Like,
The story of every dictator is they never see themselves as evil. They see themselves as the liberator.
Exactly. Yeah, I don't trust Rashid. I think he's proven that he's dangerous. We have even more reason to believe so after speaking to the police. Maybe we should all meet up before we go to class to make sure everyone's there. We're stronger together and it might be dangerous.
Maybe that, I mean, Eric is sitting there, he's just like not looking at anyone, just like rubbing his face. Maybe that whole thing was just an elaborate ritual to sacrifice one of those people there. Maybe that's all it was. They
Why
wanted
would they
us to
involve
watch.
us?
They're sickos.
Hmm.
Your thinking is rational, but it's. I mean, wow, they go around the clock to do that. I mean, they do a lot of scheming just to. I don't know. I don't know. It might be.
And
It might be. It might be.
the Clarice woman, she seemed genuinely surprised and upset that they would have to dispose of the girl.
I remember the expression on her face. She was a little saddened by all that. It was really weird. She knew that there was no way around protocol. Like she was accepting. It was like a sad acceptation of reality somehow.
But that's kind of the same thing with all sociopaths, though. They spend their whole life learning how to mimic emotions and make people think that they're genuine.
Hmm.
So what you if I follow what you're thinking, Eric, you seem to say that it's just a bunch of psychopaths and sociopaths that works together, and they are genuinely just evil and sacrificing people. That's what you're saying?
I don't know. I'm drunk. I just hit my head on the ceiling. I'm just seeing the dawn of the morning.
It's too much of a coincidence. They're also mages. That in itself is unlikely.
Mm. Okay, guys. Well, let's have a good night of sleep, and maybe maybe we're going to be thinking clearer. And I do think that Stephen's proposition is great, though. We should meet together with Aline, and I'm sorry. We should meet together. It's really cold outside. We should meet together with Aline before class, though. At least to see if
Yes.
we are on the same page. Just to see if we are on the same page. So maybe we should meet the night before.
Well, if we have
Okay.
class in 2 days, why don't we meet tomorrow evening for some coffee again?
There you go. Tomorrow evening for some coffee. Let's go somewhere downtown. A nice place I know.
Yeah, someplace that's not Mickey D's.
There you go. And I know a nice barista south of St. Catherine, right in front of McGill University. You can't miss it. It's called Miss Adriana. So let's meet there at 10 o'clock, 9 o'clock evening. What do you guys think?
Sure.
Yeah, it's fine.
All
9
right.
it is.
So let's send some email or give a call to Aline like tomorrow. I'll send him an email, and then we meet there tomorrow. And then she smiles at you guys, and then she walks toward the next metro.
Oh, Jessica.
Now, as she turns around, she smiles. She has the hand in her pocket and the shoulder up like that, and the wind's is in his hair, and the expression on his face is like, that's cold wind right there.
Stay away from Rashid until we're all together.
Oh,
Just
yeah,
be careful.
yeah, that's what I'm planning on doing.
Okay, be safe.
Thanks. And then she kind of runs in the metro and down the stairs.
You too, Eric.
All right, see you later. I
Look
popped
after
the
yourself.
collars up. I popped the collars up on my coat, wrap my arms around myself, and I just start walking.
All right. So, is there anything you guys want to accomplish alone before the actual coffee meeting situation?
Nothing out of the ordinary, just everyday things.
What
Kill
about
more
you?
bosses. Kill more bosses. That's the Dark Souls tagline. Kill more bosses.
All right, give me a second. I'll be back.
So, while he's away, Stephen does have something that he wants to do on his own. He goes back to the alleyway behind the strip club and goes down the stairs towards his master's dojo. He knocks on the door, opens it, but inside, rather than the familiar room that he was expecting, he finds a derelict, an empty space, and it seems no one's inhabited this space for years, which is naturally quite confusing and distressing for him. What does this mean? That I've been coming here for weeks. There was mats on the floor and wooden panels on the walls. And he notices in the middle of the floor there's a little book, quite a small book, quite thin. He goes over and picks it up, and unlike everything else in these rooms, which is ruined and decrepit, this book looks brand new. And it's a copy of the Tao Te Ching, which is completely foreign to Stephen. But he picks it up and leaves, scratching his head, wondering, what the hell's been going on?
Life.
Dun dun dun.
Life. Life.
All right, so the day after, you all receive an email from Rashid. The email goes like this. Good evening, fellas. I know we left each other in a harsh way, and I really apologize for it. It was not meant to go that way. It was not meant to be that bad of a situation, and I'm sincerely ashamed of it, and I'm ashamed of my violent reaction toward your disappointment. And I talked about it with Professor Gallagher, and we should definitely meet again and have a conversation about what happened. Why don't you come to the Order's house? We are at Castle McFarland, 4549 Westmount Lodge Street. It's in Westmount. You can't miss it. You can Google it. It's not far from the university. Maybe in 2 days, or just call me back or something, and we make an appointment. All right. I hope I see you later, or otherwise I'll see you in class. Rashid. So you all received that email. In the meanwhile, and Aline, you receive an email from Jessica, about giving you an appointment with the others at Mrs. Adriana coffee shop in downtown area. And so we are now in the evening, the day after. It's a cold, end of November night. And today was the first snow. Tonight is the first snow of the year coming down the sky. It's a melting snow, so it's really cold. So it's small little pieces of snow that start slowly to accumulate in the corner of the walls and on the corner of the windows. And you can see it on the top of the cars, and the windows starts to get frozen. And the temperature got lower a little bit, and now it's allowing the rain to fall in these nice little snowflake. It is a Tuesday evening in Montreal, quite busy downtown, and cafe. Miss Adriana Coffee is a nice little branché coffee place for McGill student. Mostly frequented by McGill students. It has a smell of incense in the air as you guys come in. Jessica's already there. She was the first there. She's sitting at the back of the coffee shop in the back. She has a shisha. Pipe in front of her, She has a tea cup, and she's waiting in like a circle full of cushions, and then there's some kinds of flags and drape coming down the ceiling on top of her. And as she's smoking the pipe, and as she see you, some of you guys arrive, she's like standing up and smiling, and she's like, you know, making some signals like I'm here, and then she sits. There is some Oriental, really soft, Oriental mixed with soft rock music, indie rock going on in the back. Sounds a little bit like Postal Service with some xylophone in it. And she's sitting and smoking the pipe. And she's, oh, nice guys, and it's nice to see you. I've slept really well. Did you guys receive Rashid's email?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah, I did too.
How are you, Aline? Where you were last night? We haven't seen you coming out of the party. You were dancing all night, or what? Did you meet a girl? And she's laughing.
No, I haven't met a girl. I was in a bit of a state of shock, and me and Rashid went on outside the back door to exit the place, and yeah, I wasn't thinking clearly after that happened. So yeah, it was weird. Everything was just weird about that night. I don't even, I can't even explain it in my own head what happened.
Yeah. Weird is one word to describe it.
So how are you getting on with Rashid?
Well, he took me to this big-ass castle. It was huge, you know, in the mountain. And he kind of was like, okay, explain to me a few more things about the thing. And then he let me go through the books at the place, you know. And then I got into reading some of the books because, you know, why not? You know, I was there. And there was this one book. Seriously, it was this one book. Like, I didn't even pay that much attention to it at first, but when I opened it, a hand got me into that one book, and I was in the middle of a kind of like a hurricane, and there was this booming voice kind of said, "I see you," and after it, whatever it was that brought me into that world, it spat me out, and the book disintegrated. It was such a surreal experience, dude.
And Rashid gave you this book?
No, he just said, go around, read some books in the library, you know. And when he said library, it's bigger than any library that I've ever seen. I mean, nothing back home was as big as that library. I mean, seriously. The whole scope of it is kind of like, imagine a freaking 4-story building or 5-story. I couldn't even tell how big it was. It was just the library section.
Well, we found out something quite interesting. Outside the club we met a policeman who knew our names and wanted to speak to us in connection with an investigation that's ongoing on Rashid and Clarice. because of several missing students. For the last year or so, students have been going missing from the university, and the police are investigating Rashid and Clarice in connection with this. So we were quite worried about you.
So if I understand you, Aline, you left the party with Rashid, but we
Yep.
never saw you coming out.
No, because there was a back end exit.
So, so you left by the back exit?
Yep. I didn't even know that there was a back exit. Rashid.
Why didn't you leave by the front door? Why did Rashid come out with the fire exit?
I don't know. I wasn't in my right state of mind and just followed him because I needed to know more, you know. 'Cause I needed some explanations from him.
And so you went to that Castle McFarlane place thing that we heard in the email that he want us to go tomorrow?
Yeah, it's actually a pretty
And
nice place.
And you were not afraid? Jesus Christ, you're... Oof.
It's not so much as afraid, I was in a state of shock. I mean, literally, I wasn't even processing most of the things that I was going through because it was just like trying to calm my nerves.
And what is this place exactly? Because I'm kind of scared to go. The RCMPs are after him, Aline. You might be as well as accomplice or something if you hang out with him. What is this
Really?
place anyway?
Oh, it's a pretty big place in the mountains. I mean, there are all these books there, there are all these rooms there. There's a place where you have a big bar. I mean, there's a kitchen area, and the table at the kitchen is so freaking long. I mean, it could house 50 people, I think, at least, you know? And then there was a kick-ass gaming area where they had all these awesome consoles from every generation, and they had so many video games I lost track of how many there were. And it was pretty nice, though from time to time I kept on seeing the logo, which I forgot to ask about.
A logo. Can you draw
Yeah.
it for us?
Yeah, I can. Let's see. He gets out his notepad and starts making the sign of the Order of Hermes.
Was there anyone else at this castle?
Well, there was Professor Gallagher. Apparently, he lives there. But
Right.
other than that, it was pretty empty. I don't know where everyone was. Maybe they were asleep or off doing their own thing.
So this is their badge. What do you make of all this, Eric?
Hail Hydra. I don't know. They gotta have their logo just like any other organization, I guess. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know what. I don't know what to make of this.
Well, Shield had their own branding logo as well, and Hydra had their own branding logo as well, so it could be either. So far, it sounds so out of this world, everything. It's like I'm barely trying to make sense of anything myself, you know? Because just the whole scope of the things that he's told me, both of them, I'm just trying to understand.
Well, I for one don't like the idea of visiting this castle. If Rashid wants to talk to me, he can do it. in a public place like the college.
Well, I would like to hear what the professor has to say. And it might not be a bad idea to go there, though. If they are kidnapping people and sacrificing them, doing all kinds of horrible things, maybe we can pick up some clues there to give to that cop.
Maybe we'll be clapped in irons.
And sacrificed to Cthulhu.
Hmm.
Okay.
Gallagher should be at the college. If you want to speak to him.
Well, I think we should see him in class. Maybe talk to him and Rashid after class. Then we all can decide if we want to go to this place.
Because the thing, guys, the thing that I think it's important for us to talk about today is that, you know, there is like right now there seems to have like 3 or 4 factions going on. If I remember correctly, like there is the council, which is like a bunch of mages together, which is kind of like the traditions. For now, we know 2. We know Verbenas and the Order of Hermes. They seem to be sacrificing people, and there's a bunch of people missing, and that we know from the RCMPs. Now, the Professor Gallagher talked about the evil ones, the Nefendus, if I remember correctly. So there's these guys as well. And there is, remember the technocracy thing? That is, I'm not clear on what that is really, but so what I understand is that we kind of are caught up in the middle of all that, and now, even if we don't want to be around Rashid, he's still emailing us right now, and he's gonna see us in class anyway. So how seems to me like we're gonna have to kind of. I feel I don't know about you guys, but I feel like I need to take a side for some reason. Like because if I stay between 2 chairs like that all the time, well, I might as well just be a sleeper, right?
Well, there was more
Right.
than just 2 factions, mind you, because there are those that go out in the world by themselves, and there's even the crazies. What were they called? Something with an M?
I don't remember, but it's so much information. But all I know is that now we have an appointment tomorrow. If we don't show up, that might be considered rude.
Well, I haven't actually responded yet.
Well, me neither.
I'm not going to respond until after I talk to both of them in class.
I think that's the best course.
Yeah.
If you guys do decide to go to the castle after class, I won't let you go alone. I'll come along, but I don't like it. Not one bit.
Well, I think we should all decide. I'll go.
I'll go.
What do you say, Jessica? You feel comfortable going there?
To the Castle McFarlane thing?
Aye.
If I'm with you guys, I'm not scared. You know, considering what Steven did yesterday, I think he's pretty powerful and he knows karate. And then she laughs a little bit. She's like, well, we don't care about karate, you know, if they can throw fireballs, right? And then she's kind of nervously laughs.
I might be able to dodge fireballs.
She grabs your arm and she kind of squeezes your bicep a little bit, Steven. And then she's like, you can have all the muscle in the world. I mean, you won't do shit against the Darth Vader grip of Professor Gallagher, and then she's gonna do that and smiling and laughing at, over the table and pumping on the pipe. At this moment, there is a mob going down the street. So you guys are sitting in the back of the coffee shop, and you have the windows in the entrance. And the street was all empty, but now you hear boom, 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 boom. So, solidarity against the police! And then people screaming and, like people with big trumpets and just tambourines and stuff. And then there's this huge mob that fills the window. Like it's coming from the left and it's marching in the street. And now it's just marching and marching, and it's just like full of people, and it's filling up like the sidewalk and the window and the street and all that, and it's almost like impossible. It looks impossible to open the doors. There's so much people there, and there's this big mob just walking down the street and screaming and yelling, and then people in the coffee are just standing up and looking like and everybody's like talking and screaming and like, what's going on? What is this? What's I'm tired of this, and then people are just getting all activated in the coffee.
I get this horrible flashback of the first time I saw the mob with the faceless mob, and I just start looking at them while I'm just holding my cup in my hand, and I put the cup down, and without even realizing what I'm doing, I just stand up and walk over to the window and almost press myself up against the glass, and I'm just looking at the people, just peering at all their faces. I'm just wondering if that was a hallucination, or was this something else that I saw the last time?
Hey, you okay?
I don't even register that you said anything. I'm just standing there completely motionless, pressed up against the glass, watching all these people.
Okay, so apparently it's not just me that's having a bit of problem processing a few things.
Jessica, you mentioned that you felt you had to pick a side, that you didn't want to be caught on your own in between. But do you really want to become a face in the crowd? This gift makes us different. We don't have to be part of some in crowd.
Yeah, but Steven, I accepting my awakening more and more by the day. I am embracing it. I can do things. I see things other people don't see. And I gotta admit, I quite like it. I quite like it. And I don't want to be a face in the crowd. And I know I cannot be a sleeper again. But I also know that these other mages, they seem to know stuff I don't know, and they seem organized in order to defend themselves against bigger threats that we can't even understand. Because they look at, I'm not stupid, Steven. I ain't stupid. I'm looking at what they do there, and all the protocol and the rigid rules they seem to go by, and there is a reason why they don't do that. Unless you want to agree with the conspiracy theory of Eric, and there's a paranoia about like they do all this just to sacrifice people, but it seems more logical that they do it because they have to, not because they want to. But the only people I can trust right now is you guys. So I don't want to be. I'm tired of being stuck, and I want to make an idea for myself, but I'm scared. I don't want to be alone. And look at this situation anyway. And she's looking at the crowd in the street and the mob, that endless mob that keeps on walking in the city day and night. And she's like, there is all this going on right now. And I feel like I'd rather be in another world than to be in this one. So yeah, I would go with you to Castle McFarlane tomorrow. I would go. Yeah. I don't know what we're gonna face there. I have no idea what we're gonna face there, but I would go.
You make some good points. That you do. Eric seems to be having a little moment over there by the window. Do you think he's okay?
He keeps on tapping Eric on the shoulder, trying to get his attention.
I just glance over at Alan.
Hey, you okay?
Yeah, it's just so many people.
Yeah, they are. He looks at the crowd. Sometimes
I have to tell you guys something. And I walk back over to the table, sit back down, and I take a drink, coffee. Remember after the first class, how we all left? All went our own individual ways? Well, I had decided I was going to go out for a jog. And there was a situation like this, a big crowd of protesters coming. And at the other end of the street, there's the police standing there with their shields ready to defend again, try to direct this traffic. And there was another group of people. And when I looked at this group of people, this other mob coming, none of them had faces. When I looked at them at first, it was like their faces were erased and they were just like vibrating and their teeth were chattering, but they had no faces. The whole freaking crowd of them. And then after a moment, I cleared my eyes and they looked like normal people once again. I thought I was just...
Too.
You did?
I did right after. Well, I seen it before, yeah, in the street.
So I thought I was just going crazy.
It might be the magic.
Maybe we can confront the professor with this. See how he reacts.
Did either of you two see it? The faceless crowd?
I didn't. I generally stay away from crowds in general. I try to avoid crowds as much as possible. I don't know. I don't like crowds. Maybe
I don't
it's
mind
just
crowds,
me.
but when they have no faces...
Yeah. I avoid them wholesale just to avoid, you know.
Jessica is standing, not standing, but sitting with the pipe on her lips, and she's staring in the void. She's staring in the nothingness. And then she shakes a little bit, kind of thing. She's kind of shivering, and she's not moving. She's not saying anything.
Jessica?
Hey, are you having a moment now? Yes.
She's not moving. She's not reacting.
I take my spoon from my cup and tap it on the end of her hookah.
Her eyes goes from to, and then she gets right into your eyes, and she said, "What did you say?"
Which part?
I'm sorry, guys. I was thinking about something else.
Are you sure you're okay?
Yeah. And then she keeps on pumping the pipe.
That's some pretty strong hashish.
That's just shisha, Eric. You need to stop being so paranoid about everything.
Okay. So yeah, everyone's having the moment. Interesting. He sips his coffee.
So,
at this moment, you hear the one of the window in the front of the coffee shop exploding, and there is some noise in the coffee shop, and the table is flipped, and now the coffee is filled with the noise of the crowd of the mob and people screaming and chattering, and there's some people jumping in the in the coffee shop, flipping tables, and we gotta come outside. We gotta get out of here. Stop the police. Fuck the police. And then they grab a chair and they throw a chair behind the bar, and the register, the female, the cashier that was there, the barista, she hide under the counter as a chair breaks the mirror behind the counter. You hear like all kinds of noise coming from the mob. The street in front of the coffee shop is a large boulevard. This is like a four-way boulevard going north and south, and it's filled with people. On the both sides, there's sidewalk filled with people. There is people jumping on the top of a car on the other side of the street, and then some people are just saying, they're screaming, and then suddenly you see that a bunch of people are just with the car, and they're flipping the car over, and then there's some people doing body surfing on the mob, and then you hear the sound of the police coming from the south part, and the crowd is moving south, and there's the sound of the police coming from the north. They have whistles going like, and there is, you hear shoo shoo shoo, and you see like white smoke, and fucking I don't know how you call that in English, but it's just smoke bombs, just
Tear gas
that just go boom boom in the sky and fall in the middle of the crowd, and then the smoke starts to happen. One dude with a mask and a bandana, and the bandana is just like a skeleton mouth draw on the bandana with teeth. It looks like he has a Joker smile made out of bones, and he's walking by and just grab the bomb and throw him back at the cops, screaming. And there's guys behind him with big flag with anarchist sign on it, and they're just walking down the street. And then the tear gas starts to fill slowly into the coffee shop.
As soon as
screaming and crying, and
as soon as the chair goes crashing into the window, I rush behind the bar to see if the barista's okay.
The barista is just, she's like in a fetal position. What's going on?
I said, "Is there a back way out of here?"
She's like, yeah. There's a service door in the back that leads to the back alley.
So I help her up and said, "We got to get out of here. This place is going to be overrun with these jokers, or else with tear gas. One of the two. We got to get out of here."
Yeah, let's GTFO.
Let's go.
So I have the barista by her elbow, and I'm helping her stand up and leading her to the back.
So as Jessica's following along, and as you guys go to the back alley, the back door, you open and you arrive into the back alley, and there is there's a wall in front of you first, and it goes north and it goes south, and on the both side there is mob on the streets.
Is there a fire escape?
South or mobs north, and the back alley is it's a service back alley in a commercial area. So we have a lot of dumpsters, but it's pretty clean. It's not so bad, but it's a lot of dumpsters filled with stock, empty boxes, and in the middle of the back alley there is a water, like there's some water that kind of accumulate, but it's so cold outside that it's ice. And there is the snow starts to fall a little harder, and then there is some accumulation in the corner of the buildings and the stuff. And she's just crying, and so the barista, as she comes out, she's just like, and then she runs toward the mob, screaming in the back alley.
Yeah, but do we see any service stairs going up?
Yes. Let's try and get to the roof.
Yeah, just do it. Just do it. I don't know.
Okay, so we take there's a fire escape stairs to the side. I pull on it and unlatch the latch, and the stairs come sliding down, and I start going up the stairs, and I get up to the next stop, the next tier. I said, "Come on, guys, let's go up here." Yeah. Above the tier.
Follows. He follows.
Stephen lets Jessica go first and waits till last.
And after everyone is up, I pull the ladder up and latch it again. And then just continue on up to the top.
So arriving on the top, you have it's a commercial top, so you have a ventilation vent and compressor. There is a compressor that makes a lot of noise, like that is right there, and there is it's full of gravel, so the ground is gravel, and all you have is electric boxes and this big compressor thing there, and there is some kind of a little building thing with a door, and it's written high voltage on the door. The horizon, you have the city, you are downtown area, so you have like big skyscrapers around you, but on the south you see that there is a fire over Verdun, and there is choppers. There's a chopper just coming down, just coming up over your head, going south. And looking down, you see, like in front of you, like you have the edge of the building like that. There's big skyscrapers on the other side, and there's a white smoke in between, going up like that. The tear gas coming up from the streets below. Coming down the edge, looking down, you see the streets are filled with a mob. The mob just pour down toward Verdun. Everybody's walking toward Verdun to the south. The streets are blocked by police, so you have police on horses and police on bikes and in cars, and there is also police with shields going and they walk in formation, and they're trying to push the crowd away from south, so they're trying to push the crowd north. The crowd is marching south, so it creates this blockade. And you can see it like maybe like 3-4 blocks down the street.
Yeah, we need to head north.
True.
Let's see. Is the distance wide enough so that we can jump over, or is it just?
Don't ask me, just do it. If you
Okay.
want to do it.
He's going to try to get a running jump to go from building to building and get to the north. More to the north.
All right, so give me athletic plus dexterity, difficulty 8.
Yeah, that's athletics. Yay.
The ground is made of gravel,
Uh-huh.
so it's gonna be +1 difficulty to run to get your momentum. So difficulty 9.
Oh, fuck me. Okay. Spending 1 willpower point. Okay. I'm glad that I spent 1 willpower point. So, it's like barely made it.
Why
But
don't you
skin on my-
describe what you're doing?
So, it's like I'm getting to jump from building to building, but it's like I jump and it's like whoop, and with the it's like I barely get on the ledge to hold on with my hands because my willpower point, so that I don't fall off the building, and I'm holding on with my hands. I'm trying to get back up and then continue the process over and over until I'm far away enough.
Jessica's still on the first rooftop. She's like, guys.
Yeah, I'm still with her.
She's like, guys, I'm not. I don't know what he's doing. Aline is. It's not a video game, you know. I'm not following you. It's just, I mean.
I think we know what Eileen does at night. He's Batman.
I'm sorry, guys. I'm sorry, guys. I'm not doing this. I'm not doing this. I'm not jumping off building. I'm sorry.
Stephen has a look to see how far away the fire is and to try and tell if we're actually in any
There's
danger
a
of
voice.
having our-
You hear a familiar voice in your head going, "Hey, you're not gonna let that geek dude impress her, don't you? Now, get back there, you run, and you jump. That's all you have to do.
I don't think so. I think it'd be more impressive to help everybody across this rooftop. Assuming that it's necessary, or I imagine we must be in danger of being engulfed by the fire, or Eileen wouldn't be making such decisions.
Okay, so you're a wuss. So you're a wuss.
How's this for a wuss? And Stephen goes over at the high voltage door and carefully breaks it off to make a bridge so that everybody can get across the roof.
Alright, so you're gonna give me strength and athletic. And it's gonna be difficulty 8.
Okay. I'm going to spend a willpower point since this is such an important task. Okay, that's 1 spent. And I need to roll 6 dice. Okay. So, 2 successes. Stephen goes to the high voltage door and he's very precise about the way that he breaks it. He damages the wood near the hinges and near the lock so that the door overall maintains its integrity when he pulls it out of its socket. And then he gets to the edge, to the ledge, and he realises that the door's not quite long enough. Someone's going to have to be on the other side to hold the end of the door, and he's not sure that if Eileen's strong enough for the challenge. So, looks like he's going to have to jump anyway. What am I rolling to jump? Was it dexterity and athletics to jump across?
Yep.
Alright. I'm going to spend another willpower point. And I'm rolling 5 dice. Oh shit!
Shit.
Okay, so
Oh,
just remind me what you're trying to do right now.
Alright, so Stephen wants to make a bridge out of the door. But it's only 6 foot tall, and the gap's got to be at least 8. So he's going to jump across and hold the other end while the others use the door as a bridge.
Okay, so you were trying to jump.
I was trying to jump, eh?
Oh, okay, so you're
collapsed.
falling down. Okay, so you're trying to jump. So you start to jump, and you fall down. Knock yourself down at the bottom of the alley. Get yourself some
Okay.
get yourself some aggravated damage.
Shit.
Hold on.
3.
I'm doing a thing.
3 aggravated damage. But go ahead.
I'm doing a thing.
Go ahead.
I'm doing a thing.
Go
You know what the thing is.
I don't know.
He's going somewhere else. Before he splats on the floor, he's going
All right.
to go somewhere else.
Okay, no problem. This is highest sphere, but it's +5.
Yeah, so diff 8. Yeah. Oh my god, I have a success! So it's like almost there.
Oh, wait. Get yourself 1 paradox.
Okay, so he's like, no. In his mind, he breaks another screen, and he's as soon as Stephen almost hits the ground, he's swept away. You can feel going through the spider webs as you go through the gauntlet in and of itself, and it's like you're falling through a soft tissue, going through one world into the other. And ST,
Oh
I
yeah.
don't know where he
All right.
got into.
So as you're about to hit the ground, you you enter the asphalt, and then on the other side, boom! You bash yourself softly on some wet stones, and it smells like moisture around you. And the walls are castle like, and there is like a window on the wall in the rocks. It's just a small rectangular line, and then when you look outside, all you see is just this storm spinning and lightning, and you don't see any ground, you don't see any sky, just a stormy, lightning, cyclonic, cloudish, grayish environment. On the other side, Jessica is looking down. She's like, Steven! And she goes to the edge of the building, and all she sees is Steven's falling, knocks his head on one of the fire escape thing, so makes him flip around and fall into the asphalt and disappear. You still have aggravated damage.
But less.
20 points.
Yeah, only one.
Oh,
One aggravated. And so Jessica goes, huh? What happened? Huh?
I rush over to the edge because I think that she's about ready to launch off as well, and I grab her by the arm, and I'm just looking over the edge. What the fuck is going on?
And then Jessica just looks up to Aline on the other side. She has like an expression on her face like, you motherfucker, done. You motherfucker, you bring him back right now. Bring him back right now.
Okay.
And she has like a mean expression on her face. She's like, fuck you, motherfucker, you bring him back right now.
What I don't do for cute little girl.
Fuck.
And within his mind, he breaks another one, because why not? And it's like he's trying to get through the walls of reality, through the spider webs, through everything, all of that viscous substance that separates the walls of reality and pulls him back into his hand.
All right, now that is going to be really hard because you don't know where he is and how to do that. So it's going to be the same. So highest sphere plus 5, but plus 1 because you just did it. So, and plus 1 because you don't know exactly what you're doing, right? So
Yeah.
that's difficulty 10.
Willpower point. Fuck it. Willpower point saved my ass. Willpower point saved my ass. So somehow it's like he's
Give
trying
yourself
to,
a paradox point.
of course, second one.
Yeah.
And it's like he's going through all of that icky, ugly thingy that he went in the first place, but this time it feels a lot closer, and it's like it's like he's speaking in some weird ass language, and he's forcing reality, forcing it to make it so. He's forcing his will upon it, and you can see Steven got back from wherever the fuck he went from, all covered in. We are not sure what the substance is. but it looks icky and he kind of needs a shower now.
As Jessica sees him just coming out of the asphalt, so the asphalt went and then just like a spring back kind of thing, just like a rubber band effect. Just Eric just came out of it again and just bounced on the asphalt in the back alley and flips on himself, boom, hitting himself on the side of a garbage disposal dump. Jessica's on the top. She's like, Steven! And then she runs toward the fire escape thing. She runs back down, pull off the weight at the end. So it's like a weight lifting thing. So it's just a weight. So it's just pulling the chain and the weight go tick, 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 and they, and then she runs down the stairs in the back alley. And she's like, Steven, are you all right? And then she runs toward him.
I'm fine. I'm fine. I'm a little sore, but it's okay.
She looks at your head, and you have like this bloody open wound, the back of your skull. She's like, "Oh my God, your skull is open."
My master's done worse.
I followed behind her and said, "What were you thinking? What's going on?"
Well, I thought I could extend the door to make a bridge for you all. If only I got across first.
I don't know. It's like coffee, hookah, and tear gas mixed together makes people go crazy.
Are we going to get back up on the roof?
Can you walk?
Let's find out.
Wait, why don't you try to stand up a little bit? Just take your time. You have an open wound behind your head.
Oh, he's obviously dizzy and in some pain and disorientated, but he's trying not to let anyone show it. That's not the image that he wants to project. I'm fine. I'm fine. I've had worse. I think I'm going to be. And he throws up on the street.
Jessica's look at you said, "Oh no. Okay, just sit down. I'm gonna take care of it. Sit down." And then she put her hand in her jacket, and she take out a little powder. There is a little pouch, and there is some little powder in it. And so she take out some powder and she rubs her hand in it. And then she kind of have like her hand becoming all whitish. It's like a blue whitish thing. And then she said, she put her hand on your head and she said, "Okay, bend your hand over slowly." And then as she does that, Eric, you can see like a wide open wound at the base of his skull. It's like long like this and wide like this. It's just the skull is just bent in.
Oh,
An ugly wound. And she rub her hand like that, and there's a little cloud of powder, and then she blows some of the powder on the wound, and it sticks to the blood, so creating a weird shape. And then she rub her hand like that, and then she blow it in the air over Steven's head, and you see the shape of the wound that appears in a cloud over Steven's head as she closes her eyes and just dangling like that next to Steven. And then she put her hand on the side of Steven's skull like that, and then
Nice.
and then there is like this this kind of, it's like a numbing, you know, like a when the sound gets woof, when there's a sonic plane passing, it just goes woof, and then the sound of the mob is just the noise of the mob and everything around just disappear for like a second, and then when it comes back, in like fast motion, when you put fast forward on a VHS thing, you see the skull going back in its place, leaving no mark whatsoever, and the blood just getting back inside the skull, like it was sucking in, just like it was like a rewind. And then the powder just disappear from the skull, from the air, gets back into her hand, and then she just like in a rewind motion just go back into her pouch, and then she gets back up, and then the sound come back, and the noise of the mob and the tear gas slowly filling up the back alley comes back, and the aggravated damage goes away, and she looks at you. She says, "Come, Stephen, come. I gotta go."
Okay. Wow. You're amazing. Oh, I thought you were going to use a clown buzzer on me or something. Wow.
You hear in your a familiar voice in your head going like, "What a pussy you are."
Well, there are different kinds of strength, and Jessica definitely seems to have one of them.
Steven actually says that out loud, and Eric says, "Yeah, this is true."
While Aline's looking down from the rooftop at them, and he whispers something to Daisy. Oh, at least he's saved.
Affirmative. You've done well, Master. What do you think of the woman?
Over-exaggerating.
You don't think much of her then?
Oh, she has incredible healing skills, I give her that. Could be a useful asset in the future. Need to put this to one of the backlogs. Save it for later.
She is merely human.
So
Don't let her distract you, Master.
Oh no, it's more of an interesting learning pursuit. I need to get back to that library though. It's quite fascinating, even if it has a few traps here and there.
Indeed, the possibilities are rich.
But we need to make ourselves disappear into the city. Let's go. And he continues moving.
Maybe if we just stay down here and just stay close to the walls, we'll be safe. I mean, we don't all have bat-like reflexes, Batman reflexes, so we can't all be running and leaping across building tops. Yeah, I'm just a humble citizen of Gotham. I'm not actually Boy Wonder or anything.
Jessica she kind of giggled a little bit. She said, "Yeah, I think you're right. It could have been worse." Aline, why don't you come down here? Come back down.
Aline tries to find another ladder where he can go down.
Meanwhile, the tear gas slowly fills up the back alley, going for just do a stamina. Just stamina difficulty 7.
Yeah,
and I'm still upstairs trying to get down. So I don't feel the stamina. Ooh. So,
0 successes.
so what do I see when I'm going down?
I don't see. Wait, I don't see Eric results.
Oh, I
Oh.
have.
Oh,
Yeah, Eric failed.
no, it both failed. So both of you guys. So the tear gas fills up the back alley, making you cry, making you tear out. Goes from and it makes you're coughing, and it makes you cough and all, makes you so everything from now on is gonna be +2.
Oh shit!
Until you're out of the tear gas cloud.
Is it wise to even go down now? Because he's looking down at while still trying to find that letter.
Jessica's coughing.
No. We're coming up!
What I'm,
Coming up! Don't come
what I'm
down.
going to try to do is I'm going to try to manipulate forces. I'm going to try to direct the flow of wind, the air around me, and direct it out back towards the street.
So that's going to be highest sphere plus 5.
+5. What do you mean by +5?
Because it is vulgar with witnesses. So that's the obstacle. So your sphere it has to be like prime 2
Yeah.
minimum. So +5, so it's difficulty 7.
Okay, so I have to roll over 7.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, there you go. I rotate over 7.
Oh, 2.
Nice.
Okay, so I reach my hands up, and everything seems to go dark around me, and from my mind's eye. And I'm just reaching up. I'm grabbing what looks like strands up in the air, and I'm wrapping them around my hand like I'm winding a rope around my hand. But I'm just grabbing on the fabric of reality. And from my vision, it looks like everything compresses at the far end of the alley. It's like it's creating a vacuum, and it's pulling all the air from behind me and pushing it forwards to fill that vacuum. And as it's doing that, it's pushing all of this this tear gas back out towards the street.
All right, so just want to give a mechanical advice here. You have 2 success on that, so you can use one to achieve what you want to do, and use another one to make it last for the rest of the scene.
Okay.
Right? You can do that. So we're gonna apply that tremendous success of yours, and we're gonna say that you managed to create like a space where the gas is never gonna reach you, right? For the rest of the scene.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, that works.
Yeah. So, and give yourself 1 paradox.
Okay.
All right. So no more modifiers.
Cheers.
Yeah, so do I go down, or do you guys come up, or what's it? He's looking confused now.
Jessica's looking at. She's like, "What the fuck are you still doing up, Aline? Come back down, Batman!"
He's going down now.
She's like, she turns around. She's like, "What are we gonna do with this guy? We should." She's like, "We should just walk in the crowd and just, maybe we can just leave by the mob. Like, obviously it's gonna be complicated though. It's a violent mob, but."
Well, if we go the opposite direction where the tear gas came from, that's where the police are. I think the most violent are going to be up towards the front.
You're probably right. You're probably right. But we can try. If we go up the current, it's gonna be hard to walk in that mob. People are gonna push us south.
Well, it was stay to the alleys as much as we can. I don't know. Or else we could just stay on the top of the building, wait for the mob to disperse. Can we see where the police is at?
The police seems to be was up north, if I remember correctly from when we were. Aline, where is the police right now?
He looks around to see the police. and he's looking. We
Where is the police? I don't see it. You can see it from here. Where is it?
He's looking at the police to see if he sees it. So he's looking around to determine the exact location. So I think it was north, out of character. So
Well, we're waiting on Aline to tell us where is the police.
because at one point they were out north and they were doing the whole bang 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 on their shields, and they kind of went over, they pushed the kind of halfway through the mob because they made significant progress because better armament, better equipment, better everything. So it's slowly going back where it came from. And then he points out kind of like towards the west. That way, there's the police.
Well, if we stay in the back alleys as much as we can, maybe we can get behind the police line.
I see a open alleyway right there, and he points to where the police used to be.
Do you have your
Oh.
back grapple? You can just like shoot it over there and swing over there.
He reaches down. Dude, I know I just jump a pretty significant way, but I'm not actually Batman.
Oh, that's what Batman would say, of course.
So Jessica, she's half laughing, and she's like, okay, come on down, Aline. It's not Romania. It's just Canada. Just we don't jump over building and stuff. Just you don't
Do
have
they
to.
do that in Romania?
I heard they do that in Romania all the time.
And,
Come on down.
He's now next to them. So, no, I don't do that in Romania. There's not that much rooftop to actually jump from. Seriously.
All right. So as you guys get around in the back alley and start to walk toward the other alley, you guys zigzag in between alleys. The thing is that the old downtown area is filled with this angry, really thick mob, and the police is kind of doing a chessmate situation. Like they block streets, so the mob have to move around, and then they block another street, so the mob has to go around, and they block. So it's either you face a mob or you face the cop, and the cops always make they always push for circulation. They don't want to let you go through. So as you guys turn around the corner, you have like cops with angry cops with shields going bam bam bam, circulate, and they push. And on the other side, you have the mob going down the street.
Yeah, I'm trying to avoid them entirely. So,
Yeah, if we stay up close to the walls, maybe of the buildings, maybe we can just get by.
What if we access the subway and go underneath?
Ooh, even better idea. He looks over through his smartphone. What's the closest subway station so that we can just take the metro?
All right. Why don't you do computer and wits?
Yeah, I thought you were gonna...
Difficulty 6.
Cool. So, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 successes. Yeah, so it's like, tick, tick, tick. Oh yeah, it's right that way. We just have to take a left and we're there.
So as you guys follow along, sticking to the walls and everything, you end up, at Concordia metro station, and it's just easy to go by the metro and to end up downtown. I mean, in the subway area. So you manage to, after a couple minutes of tear gassing and pepper spraying and angry cops and angry mob and stuff, you manage to circulate around and just reach the metro. Down in the metro, you go down the stairs. You arrive at I don't know how you guys call that in English, but the place where you wait, the station.
The landing.
The land, yeah, there you go. And then so you guys are waiting, and all you see on the flat screens is news about the mob. And the news is that tonight it's the heaviest mob situation for the last month, and it's because mob decided to attack the walls that has been erected. That's what the news are saying on the screens. The mob decided to attack the walls that the police and the army erected around Verdun, and so everybody was trying to get into the neighborhood, and so the police became trying to mobilize and became violent, and the mob reacted. And you guys at Mrs. Adriana coffee shop, you were really close to one of those walls, so that's why it was so intense with the mob, because the closest wall was 5 blocks down the street. And these walls have been erected, every day for the last week or so. And so it's not just a quarantine. The Verdun neighborhood is getting a little bigger by the day as they erect walls around it, eating up the southern west part of the downtown. And this is where the commotion was the most. And you guys were just 5 blocks away from there. So this is what you see on the news. And eventually the metro arrives and you guys get into the train.
Yeah, and Lin whispers to himself, "Ești ziceau Românii sunt nebuni," which translates to, "and they said that the Romanians were crazy." Kind of amusing to himself and to his avatar.
Good one, Master.
Shakes his head and gets back into whatever Pokemon video game he had available just to get his mind off things.
At least Dark Souls works on your reflexes.
Yeah, but this is more like management. I'm trying to put my managerial skills to a bit more of a test. How do you like your new upgrades, by the way?
Oh, I'm enjoying them.
That's good to hear.
So, you really weren't so very impressed with the women's artistry?
It's not impressed, and you know that. It's more like intellectual curiosity. Maybe I can replicate the effect through my own ideals and make something of it as well. I need to get back to that library and study a bit further. Maybe I can crack that code as well. Something to ponder on. Run that simulation in the background, please.
Of course, I hope I still excite your intellectual curiosity.
Oh, darling, you're the only one that excites me lately.
She doesn't respond with words, but rather a series of pleased chirping noises like R2-D2. That, of course, say more than words ever could.
Right now, Stephen hears a familiar voice in the back of his mind and under his balls, going like, you gotta get back on your feet, son. This is shameful. You being saved by a girl.
This time,
And
Stephen,
you
be
look
careful.
like a wuss in front of everybody. You are a lesser man.
This time,
And
Stephen's
you
careful
know
not
it.
to speak out loud because he noticed last time that Eric responded when he did speak out loud. So he merely thinks to himself, "He's right. He's right. I have to do something. I have to show everyone who I am, and I can't be funny like that Eric guy. I hate
Yep.
that. He has it, and I can't buy it, and I can't take it from him. It's his, and it will probably never be mine."
Look at her. She's hot, she's smart, and she's way stronger than you.
Maybe I'm kidding myself chasing after her. Maybe I am useless. No, I'll think of something. I'll think of something that will leave them all in no doubt as to my status and importance. What could it be?
Eventually, Jessica just stands up. She says, "Oh, this is my station, guys. I see you tomorrow in class. So do we agree on talking to Rashid after class?
Yep.
All right, I see you guys tomorrow."
Yeah, and if he tries anything, I'll kick his fucking ass.
The door. She looks at you a little weird, like really, but she doesn't say it. And the door's open, and then she just nods and she just leaves.
I jab Steven inside. Why don't you walk her home?
I'm not in the mood.
Oh, wait. Why don't you give me charisma, manipulation plus leadership, and what is your wits? What is your wits?
My wits are
No, the
3.
wits. Sorry, I'm sorry. I have it here. And obstacle's gonna be. Man, I have a blank. What is it supposed to be when you want?
What are you looking for?
What's your intention?
Okay, I got it. So obstacle is
Okay.
I'm sorry, won't be long. Obstacle is 3.
What am I doing?
You're doing charisma, manipulation plus leadership, difficulty 3.
Okay.
So basically, what's going on right now is, are you going to be able to convince him? So how many successes you have?
Why did I need to roll 5?
You need to roll 3.
3? Okay, just 1.
Just 1. All
Wait,
right.
what? The 1 cancels out the 5, so none.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
Then none.
yeah, that's true. So none. So
Sorry, bro.
So you can you get to narrate, Colin.
Stephen scowls at you after your suggestion and says, "I'm not in the mood. Why don't you walk her home?"
This isn't anywhere near where I live.
And the door closes, and then the metro just goes.
Eric feels kind of like a warm puff on his face for some reason, as if trying to warm himself up. You don't know where that warm feeling comes from, but it's there.
A warm feeling on my face? Is that what
Yep.
you said?
Yeah, it's kind of like, you know, when you're going into a room that's a bit warmer and
Oh,
the
okay, I
air
see.
just meets you. It's kind of like that.
I'm just looking around trying to figure out what's happening. Like there's the heater turned on the car or something. So I'm not quite sure what's happening.
Oh. You can see your breath, the way you breathe. That no, it's quite cold, but apparently you're warm for some reason.
Well, I just open up my jacket a little bit. I
Yeah.
just feel like I'm having some sort of reaction to something. Maybe all the tear gas and hookah.
Tear gas and hookah. But
Tear
yeah.
gas, yeah. Tear gas, coffee, and hookah.
So yeah, it's just around your cheek, because as soon as you try to open your jacket, it feels cold.
Oh, okay. I start thinking, I wonder if I'm coming down with something, or if I'm getting sick.
I don't know.
I know.
No.
This is just what I'm thinking to myself.
Yep. It's there.
Okay.
Eventually, in the metro, there is flat screens in the metro wagon, and you guys are, there's the doors open, and then eventually the last people in the wagon in the train, they just leave, and then you end up just by yourself, the three of you, and there is the lights inside of that train just kind of flashes, and as the metro just goes really fast, and then it speeds up and speeds up and speeds up and speeds up, and then it becomes super fast, and it's like and goes really fast, and then it starts to shake in a really weird way, and then vibrating, and then the flat screen are just shuts down, and then they lit up again. And there is the picture of a sphinx, an old mythological sphinx that appears in the screen, and then starts to move from the side, and it turns like a spiral, and then there's a message that appears. It says, "I'm watching you. Beware of the dogs. Beware of the moonlight. The answers shall come. Only you can provide." And then that message is right there flashing, and then the lights shine up again, just flash up again, and then the metro starts to slow down, and then ends up at the next station, and it's McGill Station, and it's full of people coming in.
You guys seen that too?
Yeah.
Yep.
Let's get off this train.
Yeah.
Let's.
And I just
Yeah.
kind of jostle and push my way through the people that are coming in, and just to get out real quick.
Yeah, I already needed to change trains anyway to get back home.
I'm not going back on that train.
Oh, I'm
What
changing
the-
trains. So
Well, how do you know that creepy face isn't going to be on the next train?
I don't, but I don't care.
Hey, I'll give you a ride if you want to avoid the train. You can sit in the back of my moped. And he cringes after mentioning the moped. But yeah, I've got a spare riding helmet. You can catch a ride with me if you want.
No thanks. I know my way around, at least back home. So I'll just have to wait a bit.
It's your funeral.
I know it is. It always has been.
So this Sphinx, did it look benevolent, or did it look malevolent? I shouldn't use words I can't pronounce. Did it look monstrous,
Evil.
or did it look angelic? Did it look neutral? Or did it just look like a big cat man? Gee,
Steve.
Oh, you talk to me. Oh, it looks like you want it to look. I just read it. The thing. It was written in a brand lettering. The Sphinx is a classical Sphinx face.
Yeah, it's
Right.
completely emotionless, blank face with light shining up on it, like it's being illuminated from beneath. It has the traditional Egyptian head garb on, the Egyptian pharaoh beard extending, and it has a completely existential, non-emotional look. It's like its eyes weren't even looking at you, like they're looking through you.
Yeah,
Right.
so basically, meh. That's why Aline's reaction was, I don't care. It always has been my funeral, so fuck it. Continues playing his Pokemon game.
That's very zen.
Whatever, dude.
Pokemon Zen.
Whatever. I'm up beating the Elite Four right now, so do what you want.
All right. So after you guys say bye to each other and then go back home to each your own, the day after is Professor Gallagher's math class. And so in the middle of the afternoon, as usual, everybody gets to the class. Now that you guys are acquaintances, so you guys sit together. Jessica is already there in advance. She's really studious. She has her book in front of her. She's already studying for the next exam, listening to some music. As you guys sit around, eventually the door behind the little scene where there is a pedestal where Professor Gallagher comes and teach, where Valis did his speech 2 weeks ago. Eventually the door opens and Rashid comes out. And he gets to the mic. He gives the class. 3-hour class. He's really good. He knows his stuff. He's throwing things at the chalkboard. He's really serious. He's really precise. He's a really good mathematician. And he's doing the whole thing, and the class is taking note. Nobody asks questions. He's so clear when he speaks. And then eventually, just before the end of the class, he goes to the mic and says, "There's some of you who have sent an email. I want to talk to you after the class. Class dismiss." And everybody just stands up and just leave the class. It was a class on some trigonometry thing that has to do with tangent process in the calculus. And then the class just stands up and everybody leaves. And at the end, he stands behind the mic. He's looking at you guys and he's like, "So, I guess we have to talk to each other."
Stephen glances up into the corner of the room to make sure that CCTV is in operation, that the little security cameras can see whatever happens during this meeting. And sees some cameras there.
So
Well,
are we gonna have the pleasure of your acquaintance tonight at Castle McFarlane? I know I wanted to apologize. I want to get back at you guys. It was not a nice party we had last a couple of days ago, last weekend. So I'd like you to meet Professor Gallagher and I at Castle McFarlane, so we can have a nice chat and have a nice meal, everybody together. Why don't you come for supper?
is it going to be another one of these parties?
No, nothing like that. It's just going to be us. Talking about us. Talking about you guys. What you consider, how you consider it, how you feel about all this. Because we cannot stay like that. We need to know. We need to know. How you feel?
Fine. When and what time? When? I'll go.
Oh, you have the information in the email already. You
Oh,
should.
I didn't read the whole email. I'm sorry. I'll go back.
Hmm.
I pull my phone out. I read the mail that I've actually already scoured a dozen times.
Yeah.
What guarantee? Sorry, on you go.
Yeah, I'm saying just I'm going. I don't care. You know, he's like, sure, why not? It's all good.
What guarantee do we have of our safety? Why should we trust you after last time?
I'm not sure I understand the question. Why would I not be mm, thrusty or thrustful?
Trustworthy.
You had a hidden scimitar that you're going to behead someone with. That's kind of a starting point.
Oh, I see. I see. There's a huge difference between sleepers and mages. So, I mean, and it's a huge difference. We're never trying to hurt you.
So we should trust you because normal people's lives are less important than yours and your associates. I don't buy it. But if everyone else is going to go, then, well, what they risk, I'll risk.
But listen, fellas. I mean, there is something I think you guys don't understand is that you don't have to. I'm just asking, but you don't have to. And if you don't show up, I will understand that you don't want to be part of this. And it's okay.
Now,
Don't
there's a
see
few answers that I would like to have. Okay.
now that I understand, and answers you shall have. And ask Alim, he know the place. He came over, and he had all kinds of answers he wanted to have. And
Yeah.
all your personal answers you should have. Same for you, Jessica, and same for you, Stephen.
Stephen turns towards Jessica, looks her in the face, and just raises an eyebrow, as if to say, "What's your answer?"
Jessica is just Jessica is she you know she's candid. She's sitting right there with her book open in front of her, with her pencil flipping in her hand like that. She's like, you know, I'm not going back, and for some reason I feel like, yeah, I think I want to go. I think I want to know more. I want to be part of something, and I feel like I shall trust people who are same as me more than I shall trust RCMPs or technocrats or Nifendis or evil whatever. I don't know. Uh, and I cannot talk to my family anymore. I don't even know what to say to my mother and my father. Like it doesn't make sense to me. I don't know. So I shall go. Depends on you guys. Though I'm not going there alone. No offense, Rashid. I'm not seeing you alone.
If
Well,
you
I'm already going.
Yeah, I already said that I'm going, so.
Well, if you three are going, then I'll come along. But I don't like it.
Rashid like he closes his book really fast, clacks and it echoes in the big room. He says, "Perfect. I'll see you tomorrow night. I'll cook you some good dinner, and we'll have a talk with Professor Gallagher.
Where is the professor?
He's at Castle McFarlane at the moment." he had some business to take care of, so I had to replace him this morning.
Fair enough.
All right, fellas, I'll see you tomorrow. And then he grabs his stuff and he turns around and he leaves by the back door.
Yeah, I gather my things and I stand up.
So, guess I'll see you guys tonight.
Yeah, I'll be there tonight. We shall, yeah. And then, at this moment, the door opens again. And you have like, you know when someone just go like that in the doorway? Kind of thing?
Mm-hmm.
And it's Rashid. And he goes, oh, and Professor Gallagher wanted me to tell you that we have a proposition for you guys. So, yeah, I'll see you tonight. And then he goes back in the door.
Whatever. If I'm just rolling with it, I don't care anymore. So he's looking towards trying to see. Oh, I haven't played Chrono Trigger in a while. He boots up Chrono Trigger on the DS and starts playing while just going around his business, backing up.
Am I the only one who's getting flashbacks of the movies Eyes Wide Shut?
Oh, you're not the only one. The problem is there's something worse out there. So
The whole going to a mansion or secret party, having a proposition. I don't know. I wish he hadn't have said that.
yeah,
That is
I wish
worrying.
I wish I haven't run into that fucking mob, but hey, what can I do?
Maybe we should all wear Sphinx masks.
Or I'm just going as Batman. Just cause, find the corniest Batman outfit.
Jessica's like, oh, Aline, like, I think you play too much video game. I see your face all the time in your Nintendo DS and stuff, and then in your cell phone, and then when you see a rooftop, next thing you think is like you need to jump on the other one. You play too much game.
There's never too much. There's always too little.
I do lean into everyone and with a serious look on my face. I am going to confront the professor about that Sphinx.
And what the police were saying as well.
What the police were saying?
Yeah, the fact that Rashid's being investigated.
Oh, yes.
So that's two things at least we need to talk to him about.
I just want to read his face. I want to see how he reacts to any of this. That message that came on the screen about beware the moon, beware the dogs.
Yeah, sure. Let's do that. Sounds fun.
Well, guys, I have some important reading to do.
Yeah.
All right, well, I'll see you guys later.
All right, so as you guys leave each other, you guys go about your personal endeavors. The evening comes, and the meeting was at 9 o'clock. And the address was clear enough. It's not far from the university, so you guys, eventually leave your places, go by the metro, walk in the downtown area toward Westmount. Westmount is this really rich and wealthy neighborhood, English, British neighborhood from the settlers that came 400 years ago. And the houses are huge, many, many stories high, made of old stones. Most of them looks like old castles. And when you reach the street, the Westmount Lodge street, you see that it's a small little street that turns on the right, on the side of the mountain, and it kind of curves like that, and then it ends. There's a wood, and on the side of the wood there's a rocky mountain. It's the rocky side of the Mont Royal. Mont Royal is the mountain that is in the middle of the island of Montreal, separating the west from the east and the north from the south, right in the middle. On one side you have the McGill University in the downtown area, and on the western side you have Westmount, which is like a city, that is next to the mountain, going up like that. And it's kind of like a city of his own because it has walls around it. It has his own police, it has his own structure, his own taxes system, his own infrastructure, and so it's really calm. The streets are empty. All the houses has like underground basement parking lots. So it's all the cars, all the rich Mercedes and the rich BMWs are all and the Range Rovers, all under the houses and in the building. And then the evening is really cold, and there is the first snow that falls, the real snow that starts to accumulate on the streets, and the snow kind of sticks to your to your shoes, and starts to fill up the street. Everything is getting a white little tissue around it. And then on the right, at the end of the street, builded next to the rock of the mountain, there is Castle McFarlane. Can't miss it. It's huge. It has this castle. It's a big house, 6-story high, that has old rocks. The walls are. It's built with old circular rocks, and there is stairs that's kind of zigzag to reach to the front door. But the front door is not on the ground level. It's almost like on the second floor, because you have to climb up to reach it, and the house is embedded in the rock of the mountain. So it's almost like it looks like it's been digged in the mountain. So you have the front of the house that comes out and that gets into the mountain. When you guys climb up start climbing up the main entrance, that is just a zigzagging stairway reaching this big wooden front door that has the Order of Vermes symbol on the door. On the right side of it, there's an entrance, a car entrance that goes down, circling around the building that goes down into the mountain. And right over next to the side of the mountain and the pine trees that sticks out of it, there is a full moon that sheds some lights on the street, making everything looks like blue. That has this effect with the white snow on the top of everything. It's really silent because when snow falls, it kind of numbs the sound around, and we are far enough from the downtown that we don't hear the sound of the mobs in the streets and the car. Arriving at the front door, pushing the bell rings, you can hear through the door the sound that goes doo 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 doo. And that will be all for today's session. Thank you very much for watching. Talk to you soon.